Hello and welcome to our online Bible study here on YouTube. We're so glad that you could join us as today we are starting a new series for the month of September called This or That. And so at this moment, we want to invite all of our middle schoolers to give us your attention as we are launching this new series, a new study on the topic of comparison. And so as we start this study on comparison, we have to ask, what is comparison and why do I always find myself doing it? Comparison is simply when we take one thing about ourselves and compare it with something about somebody else. We take this thing about us and compare it with that thing. And we always find ourselves looking at the things that somebody might be better at or ways that we're better than somebody else. You know, like, have you ever taken an exam and you may not have done too well on it and you looked at somebody else's grade and they did amazing and you said, wow, I'm not as smart as they are. Or have you ever been in gym class and you were just really doing a good job throwing in some hoops and your friend said, wow, I wish I could be as good as you, and you thought, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm good compared to that person. Well, you see, comparison, as I said, is the thing that we always do when we're measuring this thing with that thing. And although comparison isn't always a bad thing, it definitely doesn't always lead us in the right direction. We could often find ourselves getting disappointed or frustrated because we always are looking at somebody else as a way of measuring ourselves. We're never content with who we are or what we're capable of doing or what we can do. You see, with all the time that we spend comparing this thing with that thing, God looks at us all the same. God doesn't compare us to others. He doesn't say, man, Eric, your science grades are really bad when I compare him to that person's science grades. God sees us all and he knows us as we truly are. And yet he sees us with eyes of love. It's important that we learn to see ourselves through God's eyes and that we look at other people through God's eyes too. And so even though it might be easy to start comparing ourselves to one another, we have to remember that God doesn't compare us to others. And as we start this series, we want to read Proverbs 4, verse 23, which says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And so it's important that we guard our heart from wanting to compare this thing with that thing. And so we want to invite you to join us this upcoming Sunday as we talk about comparison. Bring your Bible, bring your breakfast, and invite a friend. We can't wait to see you next week for our online Bible study here on YouTube as we talk about this or that.